I've seen some interesting videos about doing leaf cleanups recently. Some of the contraptions some of these creators make. I guess that's why they're called creators. Not exactly lawn care guys, but you know, they're trying. Guys, there's definitely some techniques to leaf cleanup that you should probably know if you want to maximize your profit. I had a lot of problems making money off leaf cleanups for a long time. I was bidding them, and my problem was I would bid it one day, and by the time we got there, the amount of work had changed. And so we would get stuck cleaning up a whole bunch of extra leaves that weren't there when I bid the job. We decided that leaves are just best to do hourly. But at that, nobody's gonna hire you to do anything hourly if you don't do it efficiently and quickly. So before we started doing it hourly, we really had to hone in our technique. And so there is a special way that we do it, just the same way like everything, we have our techniques. And in this particular circumstance, when you're going out to do leaves, I think the biggest mistake a lot of people make is they start by grabbing their blower. And if you've ever tried to actually blow leaves, like blowing leaves takes forever. It is not a fast process to blow leaves. I've seen these companies with these giant vacuums, and you know, they'll get 5 guys out on a property, which, you know, there's $100 an hour right there, just in labor, minimum, not including all of your overhead and taxes and all that. But they get 4 or 5 guys out there in a yard to try and blow the leaves, because you got to have that much wind to be able to blow those leaves and get them to where you need them to be. And of course, they're blowing them from the backyards all the way to the front, which with some of our properties, that's an insane amount of distance to blow your leaves. And by the time you do that, the leaves are so thick and piled so high, you really just, it's very inefficient. So the fastest way I've found to clean up leaves, first of all, is to mulch the leaves. We mulch the leaves for a couple different reasons. One is because all of the fertilizer that I've been putting in these yards all year has gone up into the leaves of the trees. And so now by mulching those leaves, I'm recycling that fertilizer and we're gonna reuse it. I'm gonna leave that mulched up nutrients in the yard to decompose and keep adding nutrients back to my soil for the grass and for the trees. So we're gonna mulch our yards. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by going out and mulching everything that's in the grass. So the first thing I do when I get there, I throw my leaf bag on, I got my mulching blades on, and I run all my passes and I start mowing that yard. And I basically do a mowing pass through the yard. I'm not necessarily trying to grab every leaf, but I'm mulching up the entire yard, and I'm making space so that I can blow the leaves out of the bed into the yard without a bunch of resistance. Because the more leaves there are, the more resistance you get when you're trying to blow them, and it makes it that much harder and that much longer to blow. So if you go straight for your blower and you try to blow the leaves out of the beds, it's going to take you twice as long to blow those leaves out of the beds. And then when you go to mow, you're going to shoot those leaves back in the bed anyways. Whether you mean to or not, it happens. You all know it. I know it. So you've pretty much just wasted time. Because if you could have blown them out a little bit further and a little bit faster, you could have saved a bunch of time. So when you're going to do your leaf cleanups, mulch the grass first, then blow out the beds, blow out the bushes, get everything else cleaned off, and then mulch it one more time. And anywhere where you've left big clumps of clippings that are too big to break down and decompose, that are going to cause grass kill, that's what you bag up, and that's what you haul away. And so on most yards, you're going to haul away 2 or 3 little bags of leaves. You don't need to have some massive contraption trailing you that's 10 feet long. That's the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life, guys. What the professionals do is they use techniques that have been proven year after year, like mulching and then bagging up the remainder. And doing it in that order, where you mulch the grass and then you blow out the beds and then you mulch it one more time and then bag up what's left. That's the trick, guys. And if your mulching isn't mulching it down low enough, just keep making passes over it. And you don't have to lose your stripes while you're doing it. You can go ahead and run all your stripe patterns. If your yard's got 2 stripe patterns, run both patterns while you're doing your leaf cleanup. If your yard's got 4, run all 4. You know what I mean? Run a couple of them twice if you have to. When you get done doing a leaf cleanup, you shouldn't have ruined the stripes in your yard. It should be the best stripes you've ever laid in your yard. So anyways, that's my take on leaf cleanup. I hope that helps everybody. If you have any questions, let me know. but I'm pretty confident that the way we're doing it's the most efficient way. I've timed and tried a lot of different ways, and the only thing I've not been able to do is have one of those leaf vacuums, suck it into a giant truck. But based on the amount of leaves you'd have to haul away and dispose of and the time it takes just to do that, I'm pretty confident that the way we do it is actually faster, more efficient, and costs less than buying one of those huge vacuum contraptions and rolling around with that.